Once upon a time, there was a girl named Dorothy. She lived happily with her parents and her dog Toto in a little town immersed in the beauty of the nature. Huge woods surrounded their house. A river flowed clearly nearby. Colored birds of different species flew in these landscapes during different seasons. However, it was a shame that the citizens of her village were not so environmentally friendly. They left trash everywhere and made a bad use of the gifts of the earth, such as wood and water. They wasted energy exploiting all the conveniences of technology, and doing so polluted air, waterways, and the soil. Thus, one day, because of climate changes caused by the foolish man, there was a terrible hurricane that wiped away Dorothy, her house, and her little dog Toto, carrying them to the land of dummies. This was a strange world, inhabited by people who neither reasoned nor acted for themselves. Everyone behaved just like robotic mannequins, manipulated by the wicked witch of the East, Pollutioner. Pollutioner made them victim of a spell, leading them to make violent and absurd actions against the environment. For example, along the streets there were signs reporting, "The witch orders. Empty the trash in the sea, because I don't want to smell the stench when I go through the streets with my carriage." Or, "The witch orders. Cut down all the trees, because they make too much shade." Or even, "The witch orders. Crush all the flowers, because I'm allergic." And things like that. The people of the land of dummies made everything the witch ordered, with no possibility to rebel. But then, it happened that, while landing, the house of Dorothy crushed the wicked witch of the East, killing her instantly. The dummies suddenly were freed from the spell and began to live again in harmony with the environment. The elder of the village, to express gratitude to Dorothy, asked her, "How can we thank you? What is the biggest wish, more than anything else?" "I'd like to go home," said Dorothy anxiously. The elder took the map, studied it, and turned it again and again. He realized he could not find Dorothy's town. "Bless my soul, we've remained several centuries behind since the witch subjugated us." "We cannot help you, dear Dorothy. Our map is not updated. However, another person can help us." And so he called the good witch of the north, Environmenta. "Very good, Dorothy. You have freed the people of the land of dummies, who from now on will focus on remedying the environmental damage caused during all these centuries. In order to go back home, I can only recommend to reach the Wizard of Ricicloz, who will give you the right directions. Be careful though. The dead witch Pollutioner has a sister, Chemicalla, the wicked witch of the West, who will prevent you from reaching the wizard. However, you must follow the road of the colored beans to reach the town of Ricicland. Know how to stand their ground," Environmenta said. So Dorothy and Toto left, armed with much confidence. Along the way, they met a family really odd, the Recyclables. They were dwellers from the land of dummies who, during the domination of the witch Pollutioner, escaped the spell. They had so the opportunity to learn, to think, and to understand that separate collection is important to keep the environment clean, and that the recycling packages can create new products. And so, over the years, Everyone had gained his own secret dream. Glass Mom was a bottle who wished to turn into a beautiful glass. She had seen every type of glass in a home magazine and had already drawn models of the glass she wished to turn into. Plastic Dad, instead, was a detergent container who wanted to turn into a comfortable chair, like the modern ones with a captivating design. He had already published a notice on some newspapers to look for other 44 containers useful to realize his dream. Curluminium from a colored can wanted to turn into a beautiful modern bicycle ultralight. Steel Nerd fell in love with a sport car and wished to become a piece of its body. He had studied well all the percentages and had understood that 19,000 steel cans like him were needed to get a car. He had also helped Curluminium to count the cans needed to get a bike, 800. The beautiful Miss Paper was a paper bag who wished to enter the world of press, becoming a famous newspaper. Although she was very vain, she avoided too much color because she knew that a too much stained paper is difficult to recycle. Wooden Samurai and Baby Organic were the children of the family. Wooden Samurai wanted to become a toy, perhaps a train or a rocking horse, while Baby Organic dreamed of becoming a flower. He knew that from organic waste derived compost, a fertilizer for the soil. So, when they knew that Dorothy was heading to meet the Wizard of Ricicloz, they implored to go with her. "Please, can we come with you? We wish to ask the Wizard of Ricicloz to transform us." "Of course," said Dorothy. "Together we'll surely arrive earlier." And so the journey in search of the town of Recycland began. Once there, Dorothy and her companions were able to meet the wizard. "Yes, I will help you, and I will realize your inquiries," said the wizard. "But this takes time, and, above all, the Wicked Witch of the West, Chemicalla, must no longer exist." "We're going to kill this Wicked Witch," said boldly Wooden Samurai. "We must consider the risk of failure," suggested Steel Nerd. "It won't be a big loss. She is certainly uglier than me," said Miss Paper. "Enough talking, let's go," Glass Mom and Plastic Dad finally said. After thanking and taking the leave from the wizard, they all headed towards the land of Chemicalla. However, reaching this land turned out to be a difficult task. Once in front of a deserted stretch, they reckoned if crossing it or not. But there was no other solution. The problem was how to fight the thirst. "Use me to put a reserve of water," said Glass Mom to Dorothy, "so you and Toto can drink." And so they did. The glass retained water during all the way until they reached a beautiful oasis. The travelers rested, slept, and awoke the next day, eager to continue their journey. But soon they realized to be in front of a new obstacle. At the center of the oasis, there was a small pond, which widened as someone tried to circle it. It was absolutely necessary to cross it following a perfect diagonal line. It was the only solution. "I'm scared, I cannot swim," said Dorothy to her companions. "Don't worry," said Wooden Samurai. cling to me because I float on the water. I'll take you with Miss Paper, Baby Organic and Toto to the other side. And so they did. They reached the other side, which appeared as a lush forest. Everyone pay attention, warned Plastic Dad, who had understood that in those unexpected situations there was the hand of Chemicalla. As they advanced, they heard a deafening noise that was acquiring always more intensity. Walking among trees and shrubs, always denser, the group popped out on a clearing where a stream went 4 meters down, becoming a very high waterfall. "How are we going down now?" they all asked. The discouragement filled the soul of Dorothy and even of the youngest Recyclables. But Plastic Dad encouraged the group. "The witch Chemicalla is putting us to the test. What did the good witch Environmenta say? We have to stand up to her. Well then, let's think on it." So, thinking aloud, he came to this conclusion. "Only by winning our fears we can achieve our dreams. Do you agree?" "Yes," they all replied. "Good. So, right now our fear is to go beyond the waterfall. Only if we face it, the fear will disappear and our dream will be closer." "I don't understand," said dejected Still Nerd, feeling a hint of embarrassment admitting his limitations. "I'll dive in the waterfall and see what happens. After all, I cannot break nor dent." And so, armed with courage, he dove. When he reached the bottom, by magic the waterfall was reduced to a stream that could easily be forded. "Hooray, Plastic Dad, you were right," said Miss Paper, followed by Baby Organic, the most enthusiastic. "Let's proceed," said Plastic Dad, a bit groggy but intact. "The journey is long." After a walk, they came in front of a huge rock that seemed impenetrable. An inscription said, "Open it like a door, close it like a house." Oh God, what did that mean? This time, Still Nerd felt called upon. That was his field. So, it is clearly an enigma. It consists of 2 sentences, not even in rhyme. "Ah, Steely! We do not want comments on the phrase. You must tell us what it is," cut short Corluminium. "I'm thinking, wait a moment," said angry Still Nerd. "Glass Mom, you use a key to open the door and to close the house, don't you?" interrupted Baby Organic. "Yes, very good, baby, that it is," said Plastic Dad. "Dorothy, you have to transform Corluminium into a key that can enter into this slot," said Plastic Dad. Dorothy, a bit afraid of hitting Corluminium, began to beat her with a stone until she assumed a flat shape. She was very malleable, and it was easy for her. As Dorothy entered the key into the slot, the rock opened. Corluminium returned as she was, and they were able to enter into a dark cave. "How scary," said Dorothy, and even Toto got closer to her. "Don't worry," said Still Nerd, who after 2 disappointments wanted to make himself finally useful. "I will go ahead, since I'm very hard and I resist to shocks. If we find something sharp or heavy in the darkness, I will shield and protect you." And so they did. Still Nerd protected the others from boulders falling down suddenly and from the sharp rocks that stuck out in the narrowest passages. At the end of the cavern, they found this message: "Sum up your persons, subtract the obstacles, multiply the experiences, share the dreams. Another riddle. We must do some calculation. I need something to write, said Dorothy. Quickly, Miss Paper proposed herself. So, Miss Paper, be a little patient, said Dorothy, and began to write. Toto, the Recyclables, and Dorothy were 9. So far, they had faced 5 obstacles and had lived the same experiences. They had a dream each, thus 9. The result was an infinite number. And how do we write it on the door? There was definitely a mistake, but how and where they had made the mistake? Toto began to bark, but nobody listened to him, being focused on solving the calculation. After several minutes, still Nerd broke. But if Dorothy and Toto have the same dream to go home, the dreams are 8 and not 9. And redoing the math, this time the result was a finite number, 2.5. It was the correct one. The door opened, and the whole group was able to break into a large, arid clearing, strangely quiet. What else does expect us now? Asked Dorothy. We just have to wait, reassured her Glass Mom. Suddenly, an old woman appeared. She was sweet and good, but soon she revealed, from her tone of voice, to be the Wicked Witch of the West. I won't let you proceed unless you transform this area into a flower garden, sneered the Wicked Witch, knowing that it was an impossible task. How do we do that? Here there is no water and the land is without resources, said Plastic Dad. Baby Organic can turn into fertilizer, said Steel Nerd. Yes, but alone she is not enough, retorted Glass Mom. And then she must return to the Wizard of Ricicloz with us. Look how many fruits, said Dorothy, pointing to an apple tree nearby. You can eat them with Toto and sow the skins, said Baby Organic, so that they can turn into manure. And so they did. Dorothy and Toto stuffed themselves with apples and other delicious fruits, spreading the skins into small holes dug for them by Corluminium, and that Glass Mom patiently watered with the little water left. After a night of work, as by magic, small leaves arose the day after, which gradually blossomed into flowers. Damn you, blamed the witch Chemicalla. You have passed all the tests and have won. And she vanished into thin air. Dorothy, Toto, and the Recyclables appeared in an instant in front of the Wizard of Ricicloz. Well done! You were very good. These tests have served you to understand how important is to know the qualities that you possess, to enhance your talents, and to wish for a new life. I will realize your wishes in a moment. And he uttered the magic word, Ricicloz. Suddenly, Dorothy awoke in her room. Toto was at the foot of her bed and barked happily. Had they dreamt? Or was it all true? Dorothy looked around. On her desk there were a beautiful wooden tray and a glass beaker, colored and full of warm milk. Next to her desk there was a nice chair in colored plastic. Dorothy stood up and leaned onto the window. Her father was polishing a new car, while her mother was watering a beautiful flower. Inside the garage, a nice bicycle was waiting for her. Okay, but what if it had been just a dream? Toto barked vigorously. He ran towards Dorothy. wagging its tail, clutching in its teeth a newspaper. It reported this headline: "The percentage of separate waste collection has increased of 2.5 in our village."